Feeling drained? Life can be tiring. We all feel weary sometimes. Even our spirits get tired. We might feel spiritually exhausted, like we're running on empty. This fatigue can make us question our faith, doubt God's goodness, and want to give up. But God doesn't leave us to struggle alone. He offers us strength and guidance in His Word. David's example, finding strength in weakness. His story is a powerful reminder that even in our darkest moments, we can find hope and resilience. In Psalm 51, we see David at a low point. He had sinned, made mistakes that left him feeling empty and ashamed. Yet he didn't let his failures define him. Instead, he turned to God, seeking forgiveness and renewal. This psalm is a raw and honest cry for help. David doesn't hide his weakness, he brings it to God. He acknowledges his flaws and pleads for mercy, showing us that vulnerability can be a source of strength. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me, David prays. These words reflect a deep desire for transformation and a commitment to change. He knew that true strength comes from God, not from himself. By surrendering his weaknesses, David found a renewed sense of purpose and inner strength, teaching us that in our own lives, we too can find strength in our moments of weakness. Pressing on perseverance in the face of fatigue, it's about pushing through when every muscle in your body screams to stop, when your mind is clouded with doubt, and when the path ahead seems insurmountable. David's life was full of battles, both literal and figurative. He faced not only physical enemies on the battlefield but also internal struggles that tested his faith and resolve. He faced enemies who wanted to destroy him, who sought to undermine his strength and spirit. These were not just battles of swords and shields, but battles of the heart and mind. David could have easily given up, surrendered to exhaustion and despair. The weight of his responsibilities and the constant threats could have overwhelmed him, but he chose to persevere. He found strength in his faith, in his belief that he was not alone in his struggles. He pushed forward even when the odds were against him. "I will not be shaken," David declares in Psalm 16 verse 8. This was his mantra, his source of unwavering strength and determination. He knew that God was with him, even in the midst of hardship. This knowledge gave him the courage to face each day, to confront his fears, and to keep moving forward, no matter how tough the journey. Renewed by God, sources of spiritual strength. In our journey of faith, we often encounter moments of weariness and doubt. It's in these times that we need to draw from the wellsprings of spiritual strength that God provides. These sources are timeless and have been the bedrock for countless believers throughout history. How did David find the strength to keep going? David, the shepherd boy who became a king, faced numerous challenges and adversities. Yet, he remained steadfast in his faith. His secret? He consistently sought the presence of God. He drew near to God. In moments of despair and joy alike, David turned to prayer. He knew that in communion with God, he would find solace and guidance. He spent time in prayer, pouring out his heart to the Lord. Prayer was not just a ritual for David, it was a lifeline, a direct connection to the divine. He meditated on God's promises found in Scripture. The words of God were a source of comfort and strength, reminding him of God's unwavering faithfulness. "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path," wrote David. This verse encapsulates the guiding power of Scripture in our lives. Just like David, we can find renewal in God's presence. Whether in the quiet of nature, the stillness of a church, or the solitude of our rooms, God's presence is always accessible. When we feel spiritually drained, let's turn to Him in prayer. It's in these moments of sincere prayer that we can unburden our hearts and receive His peace. Let's read His Word and allow His truth to refresh our souls. The Bible is not just a book, it's a living testament of God's love and promises. In His presence, we find the strength to keep going, to keep serving, and to keep trusting. No matter the challenges we face, God's strength is sufficient for us.